When I found proof my husband was sleeping with my sister behind my back, I stayed silent and played the perfect wife, then orchestrated the most devastating reveal at her wedding reception, exposing their betrayal to every guest who believed their innocent act. "She's working late tomorrow, right? Come over then. I'll make your favorite." I'm reading this text message from my sister Maya to my husband Paul at 1:30 in the morning, and the she they're casually discussing is me. Not Erin, not your wife, not your sister. Just she, like I'm an inconvenience to work around, a schedule to coordinate around, an obstacle between them and whatever this is. I keep scrolling through their messages, going back months, watching their affair unfold in reverse, and every message makes me feel sicker and stupider and angrier. They've been doing this for 2 years. 2 years of lies in hotel rooms and stolen moments while I worked late to pay our mortgage, while I helped Maya plan her dream wedding, while I smiled for family photos and believed we were all happy. Paul is asleep upstairs. Maya is probably asleep in her apartment across town, the apartment I helped her move into, practicing her vows for the wedding where I'm supposed to be her maid of honor in 8 weeks. They think they've been so careful. They think I'm too trusting to ever find out. They're wrong. And by the time I'm done with both of them, everyone they know will see exactly who they really are. But let me back up. Because 3 hours ago I had no idea any of this existed. 3 hours ago I was making pancakes. It's Sunday morning in early March and our kitchen smells like butter and vanilla. Paul is sitting at our table reading the newspaper, sunlight coming through the windows we picked out together 3 years ago when we renovated this place. We've been married 8 years. We have routines. Saturday mornings at the farmer's market, Sunday pancakes, movie nights with takeout from the Thai place down the street. Annual camping trips to Crater Lake with Maya and whoever she's dating. Normal stuff. Boring stuff. The kind of life that doesn't make for interesting stories but makes you feel safe. I flip a pancake and glance over at Paul. He's wearing the old college sweatshirt I keep threatening to throw away, his hair sticking up on one side because he hasn't showered yet. This is us. This is what marriage looks like at the 8-year mark when you think everything is fine. "Blueberries?" he asks without looking up from the sports section. "Already washed. In the fridge." He grins at me like I've just solved world hunger, and I feel that small warm satisfaction of knowing someone well enough to anticipate what they need. I work as an art director at a boutique creative agency downtown. Paul handles corporate accounts at some tech marketing firm with a name I can never remember. We're not rich, but we're comfortable. We're not exciting, but we're content. Or at least I thought we were. My phone buzzes on the counter. It's Maya asking if we're still on for dinner Tuesday at that new Italian place near her apartment. I confirm and she sends back 3 heart emojis, which is very Maya. She's always been the expressive one, the sister who cries during commercials and makes friends in grocery store lines and hugs people she just met. I tell Paul about dinner and his face does this thing it always does when Maya's mentioned. This immediate brightening like someone just turned up his volume. "I'll grab that wine she likes," he says, already pulling out his phone to make a note. "That Pinot Grigio from the vineyard we visited." I smile because this seems thoughtful. This seems like my husband being considerate of my sister. This seems normal. Maya has been part of our relationship from the beginning. She was there the night Paul and I met at that gallery opening in Seattle 9 years ago. He helped me pick out my wedding dress. She spent our first Thanksgiving as a married couple at our terrible first apartment, laughing about the turkey I'd burned so badly we had to order pizza. She's family. She's been woven into every major moment of our marriage. 3 months ago, everything shifted when Derek proposed. Maya called me that night crying so hard I could barely understand her, and I screamed into the phone with excitement because my baby sister was getting married. Paul heard me from the other room and came running thinking something was wrong. That night Maya came over with Derek to celebrate. We drank champagne on our couch while she showed us the ring, this massive emerald-cut diamond that probably cost more than my car. Derek comes from old Portland money. His family owns half the buildings downtown and doesn't talk about it. Maya had dated successful guys before, but this felt different. She kept saying things like, "I can't believe this is real," and "I get to spend forever with him," and Derek looked at her like she was the only person in the room. Before they left, Maya grabbed my hands and asked me to be her maid of honor. I said yes before she even finished asking. We've always been close despite the 4-year age gap. Growing up, she was my shadow, following me everywhere, copying my outfits, asking a million questions. As adults, we evolved into best friends. Daily phone calls, weekly lunch dates, trading advice about everything from work drama to relationship problems to which concealer actually worked. When Maya started planning the wedding, I became her full-time consultant. Hours looking at venues, debating color schemes, tasting cakes until we felt sick. Paul was always eager to help, offering to drive us to appointments or pick up samples or give his opinion on centerpieces. I loved that my husband cared enough about my sister to be involved. Maya usually scheduled our planning sessions for evenings when I'd be working late, which made sense. She worked as an event coordinator at a luxury hotel, so her schedule was more flexible than mine. It never occurred to me to question why she preferred those specific times, or why Paul was always so available to help when I couldn't be there. Everything seemed perfect, uncomplicated, normal. Then came the night with the perfume. 6 weeks after Maya's engagement. Late January. Paul came home just before midnight from what he said were drinks with clients. When he leaned down to kiss me hello, I smelled it, perfume that wasn't mine. Something floral and expensive. The kind of scent that lingers on clothes. I was half asleep on the couch where I'd been waiting up, and I asked about it in this light, teasing way. Not accusatory. Just curious. Oh, one of the clients is this woman who hugs everyone goodbye, he said, not missing a beat. You know how some people are. His tone was so casual, so unbothered, that I immediately felt stupid for noticing. I laughed it off. We went to bed. I told myself it was nothing because it was nothing. People hug. Perfume transfers. This is what happens when you work late with colleagues. 3 days later, I stopped by Maya's apartment to drop off wedding magazines. And there it was, that same perfume sitting on her bathroom counter in an elegant glass bottle. I recognized it instantly. That specific floral scent. Something in my stomach twisted. I stared at that bottle longer than was normal, trying to make sense of the coincidence, and Maya came out of her bedroom asking if I was okay. Yeah, just spacing out. Long week. She hugged me and said I worked too hard, that I needed to take more time for myself. I left feeling unsettled in a way I couldn't name. It was nothing. It had to be nothing. Lots of women wear the same perfume. My brain was creating problems where none existed. But after that night I started noticing other things. Paul's phone was suddenly always face down. On the kitchen counter. The nightstand. The coffee table. Every surface. He started taking it into the bathroom when he showered, which he'd never done before. When notifications came through, he'd angle the screen away in this automatic way, like he didn't even realize he was doing it. Over breakfast one Tuesday, I mentioned to Maya that Paul seemed distracted lately. Maybe stressed about work. She squeezed my hand across the table. All marriages go through phases like this, Aaron. You're overthinking it. Paul adores you. Don't create problems where there aren't any. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? He was my sister. My best friend. She'd never steer me wrong. But the changes in Paul kept coming. He started waking up at 5 in the morning for the gym, something he'd never done in our entire relationship. New workout clothes appeared in the laundry. Expensive protein powders on the counter. Running shoes I didn't recognize by the door. He bought tailored shirts that fit differently. Started using cologne I'd never seen. Switched from his regular barber to some trendy place downtown. Just trying to take better care of myself, he said when I asked. Stay competitive. I'm not getting any younger. His work hours stretched longer. Client dinners 3 times a week became normal. Weekend conference calls. Late nights at the office for pitches that never seemed to close. When I suggested joining him for dinner like I used to, he said it would be boring. Just shop talk. Nothing I'd enjoy. I started lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling while Paul slept peacefully beside me. Was I paranoid? Controlling? Was this just what happened at 8 years when the excitement wore off? My best friend Jennifer suggested couples therapy over wine one night. When I mentioned it to Paul, he laughed. We don't need to pay someone to tell us we're fine. You're overthinking things. I wanted so desperately for him to be right that I dropped it. Confrontation has never been my strength. I'm the peacemaker. The person who makes everyone comfortable and smooths over rough edges. So I pushed down the doubt and kept making Sunday pancakes like everything was fine. Until tonight. Tonight, Paul fell asleep on the couch after dinner, and his phone slid out of his pocket onto the cushion. The screen lit up with a notification. I wasn't trying to snoop. I was just going to plug it in for him. But the notification was from Maya. and the preview showed just enough text to make my blood run cold. I picked up the phone. His passcode is our anniversary, he's never changed it. And suddenly I was in his messages with my sister, scrolling through months of conversations I was never supposed to see. Plans to meet at hotels. Discussions about my work schedule. Jokes about how clueless I am. Photos of Maya wearing Paul's clothes, including that navy hoodie he claimed he lost 4 months ago. Now it's 1:30 in the morning and I'm sitting in our living room with my laptop, going through 2 years of lies, and Paul is still asleep upstairs, completely unaware that everything is about to change. Maya's wedding is in 8 weeks. I'm supposed to stand beside her as maid of honor and smile while she marries Derek, this genuinely kind man who has no idea his bride has been having an affair with her sister's husband. I should wake Paul up right now. Scream at him. Call Maya and destroy her. But I don't. Because sitting here in the dark taking screenshots and backing them up to 3 separate cloud drives, I realize something. I'm not going to confront them. Not yet. I'm going to play the perfect wife. The devoted sister. I'm going to help Maya with every wedding detail, smile in every photo, give the maid of honor speech everyone expects. And then I'm going to burn their entire world down in front of 200 people who think they're good people. They think I'm too nice to fight back. Too trusting. Too weak. They're about to find out how wrong they are. The days that follow are strange. I move through them like I'm underwater, everything muffled and distant, but on the surface I'm perfectly normal. I go to work. I answer emails. I smile at Paul across the dinner table and ask about his day like I don't know exactly what he did today, who he texted, where he went. Because I'm still checking. Every morning after he leaves for the gym, I log into his iCloud and read the new messages. Every night while he showers, I scroll through his calendar and cross-reference it with Maya's Instagram stories. I'm building a timeline now, a detailed map of their affair that spans 2 full years. 2 years. That number keeps hitting me in waves. 2 years of family dinners where they sat across from each other and smiled. 2 years of holidays and birthdays and ordinary Tuesdays. 2 years of me confiding in Maya about my marriage, about my worries that Paul seemed distant, while she nodded sympathetically and told me I was imagining things. The worst part isn't even the affair itself. It's the coordination. The planning. The casual way they discuss me like I'm a scheduling problem to solve rather than a person they're betraying. She's got that design conference in San Francisco next month. Paul writes in a message dated 6 weeks ago. Perfect. Maya responds. We can finally do that weekend trip you mentioned. I'll tell Derek it's a girls' spa thing with college friends. They're so comfortable with the lying. So practiced. Like they've done this 1,000 times and perfected the art of deception. I'm sitting at my desk at work on a Wednesday afternoon, staring at a logo design that's due by end of day when my phone buzzes. It's Maya. Lunch tomorrow? I need your opinion on bridesmaid dress colors. I'm between sage green and dusty blue. I stare at that message for a full minute. She has no idea. Absolutely no idea that I know. That I've seen the photos of her wearing Paul's clothes. That I've read every message where she calls me naive and gullible. That I know she's been sleeping with my husband in the apartment I helped her furnish, planning her wedding while destroying mine. Tomorrow works. I type back. That cafe near my office at noon? Perfect. Love you, sis. I set my phone down and go back to the logo design, but my hands are shaking. Not from sadness. From rage. Pure, cold rage that sits in my chest like a stone. That night, I do something I've been avoiding. I go through Paul's bank statements. He's been sloppy here too, probably because he never imagined I'd look. Charges at the Heathman Hotel downtown. 6 separate stays over the past 4 months. Always on nights I was traveling for work or visiting my college roommate in Eugene. Dinner reservations at restaurants Paul claimed were client meetings. Purchases at lingerie stores that definitely weren't for me because I haven't received a gift from him in over a year. One charge catches my eye. 3 months ago, right after Maya got engaged, Paul bought something from a jewelry store. $1,500. My stomach drops. I click through to the detailed receipt and there it is. A gold bracelet. Custom engraved. I've never seen this bracelet. Paul certainly never gave it to me. But I remember seeing something gold on Maya's wrist at Sunday dinner 2 weeks ago. She said Derek gave it to her as an early wedding gift. I close my laptop before I throw it across the room. The next day I meet Maya for lunch. She's already at the cafe when I arrive, sitting at our usual table by the window, looking radiant in a cream sweater that probably costs more than my rent. She jumps up to hug me when she sees me. "You look tired," she says, studying my face with what looks like genuine concern. "Are you sleeping okay?" "Just busy at work," I say, sliding into the chair across from her. "You know how it is." She launches into wedding talk immediately. The ongoing debate about bridesmaid dresses, a crisis with the florist who might not be able to get peonies in November, drama with Derek's aunt who wants to bring her new boyfriend who no one has met. I nod in all the right places, make appropriate sympathetic noises, offer solutions to problems I don't care about. And then I notice it. The gold bracelet on her left wrist. "That's pretty," I say, gesturing to it. "Is it new?" Her hand goes to it automatically, a small, secretive smile crossing her face. "Oh, this? Yeah, Derek gave it to me. Early wedding present. Isn't it beautiful?" "Gorgeous," I say, keeping my voice light. "He has good taste." She beams. "He really does. I'm so lucky, Aaron." I know every bride says this, but I genuinely feel like the luckiest woman alive. Derek is he's everything I've ever wanted. I take a sip of my water to avoid responding because if I open my mouth right now, I might tell her that her fiancé isn't the one who bought that bracelet. That my husband, her brother-in-law, the man she's been sleeping with for 2 years, paid $1,500 for that piece of jewelry she's wearing while she gushes about how much Derek loves her. "Speaking of Derek," Maya continues, "I need to finalize the head table seating chart. Obviously you and Paul will be right next to us. I want my favorite people close." "Of course," I say. "Wouldn't miss it." She reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. "I keep thinking about how lucky I am to have you as my sister. Some people don't get along with their siblings, you know? But you and me, we've always been a team. I honestly don't know what I'd do without you." The audacity of it nearly takes my breath away. She's holding my hand, looking me in the eye, saying these things while carrying on an affair with my husband. While wearing jewelry he bought her with our joint account. While planning to stand at an altar in front of 200 people and pledge loyalty to Derek when she's been loyal to no one. "I feel the same way," I hear myself say. "You're my best friend, Maya. Always have been." Her eyes get misty. "Don't make me cry. I'm wearing mascara." We finish lunch talking about centerpieces and the timeline for the reception. She shows me photos of the venue decorated for a different wedding, pointing out where our table will be, where the dance floor is, where the bar will be set up. "And this is where you'll give your maid of honor speech," she says, zooming in on a photo of the microphone stand near the head table. "No pressure, but I'm expecting something good. You're the writer in the family." "I've been working on it," I tell her, which is true. I've been working on that speech for weeks now, perfecting every word, timing every pause. It's going to be memorable. I promise. "I can't wait," she says, practically glowing. "This is going to be the best day of my life." I smile back at her. "I'm sure it will be." When we part ways after lunch, she hugs me tight and tells me she loves me, and I hug her back and say it too, and neither of us means it, but only one of us knows that. I walk back to my office in the cold November air and I feel nothing. No sadness. No conflict. Just that same cold clarity I felt the night I discovered everything. That evening, Paul comes home from work carrying flowers. Grocery store flowers, nothing fancy, but it's been months since he brought me anything and I understand immediately what this is. Guilt. Some small part of him that still feels bad about what he's doing, trying to ease his conscience with a $12 bouquet. "These are pretty," I say, putting them in a vase. "What's the occasion?" "No occasion. Just thought of you." He kisses my forehead and goes to change out of his work clothes, and I arrange the flowers in water and think about how I'm going to destroy him. Not physically. Not through violence or screaming or dramatic confrontation. I'm going to destroy him socially, professionally, in every way that matters to him. And he's not going to see it coming. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Maya. "Thanks for lunch today. You always know how to make me feel better. Love you so much." I type back quickly, "Love you too. Can't wait for the wedding. It's going to be perfect." And I mean it. Because it will be perfect. Just not in the way she thinks. I finish arranging Paul's guilt flowers, pour myself a glass of wine, and sit down to work on my maid of honor speech some more. I've got 8 weeks until the wedding. 8 weeks to play the role of supportive wife and devoted sister. 8 weeks to make sure every piece of evidence is backed up, Every detail is perfect, every word of my speech is exactly right. Paul comes back downstairs in sweatpants and finds me at the kitchen table with my laptop. Work stuff, he asks. Wedding planning, I say, not looking up. Maya's speech. Want to make it special. He smiles that warm, proud smile. You're such a good sister to her. She's lucky to have you. We're lucky to have each other, I reply, meeting his eyes. He has no idea how true that's about to become. The weeks that follow become a masterclass in performance. I'm acting every single day, every single moment, and nobody suspects a thing. Not Paul, not Maya, not my parents, not our friends. I am the perfect wife. The devoted sister. The reliable maid of honor who shows up to every appointment with a smile. But underneath the performance, I'm building something else entirely. Every morning starts the same way. I wake up before Paul, make coffee, check his iCloud account while the machine brews. New messages appear like clockwork. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you Thursday. She's going to be at that conference all weekend. We'll have 3 full days. I screenshot everything, save it to multiple cloud drives, add it to my growing timeline of their affair. Then I go downstairs, pour Paul's coffee exactly how he likes it, and kiss him goodbye when he leaves for the gym. The same gym where, according to his messages, he doesn't actually work out half the time. He meets Maya there. They grab breakfast after. Go back to her apartment while I'm at work. At the office, I throw myself into a major rebranding project for a tech startup that's paying us more than any client we've had in years. My boss comments on how focused I've been, how the quality of my work has actually improved despite the long hours. What she doesn't know is that staying late isn't about dedication. It's about avoiding home. Avoiding the charade. Some nights I sit in my car in the parking garage for 20 minutes, just breathing, preparing myself to walk back into my marriage and pretend everything is fine. Jennifer notices something's wrong during one of our monthly lunches. We're at our usual spot, this little bistro near Powell's Books, and she's watching me push salad around my plate without eating. You've lost weight, she says. Are you okay? Just busy with work, I tell her. And Maya's wedding stuff. You know how it is. Erin. She sets down her fork, her expression serious. I've known you since college. Something's off. What's going on? For a second I almost tell her. Almost let the whole story spill out right there over untouched salads and iced tea. But I can't. Not yet. Because if I tell Jennifer, she'll tell me to confront them immediately. She'll say I'm torturing myself by waiting. She won't understand that this isn't torture. This is strategy. I'm fine, I say, forcing a smile. Really, just stressed. The wedding's in 5 weeks and Maya's losing her mind over details. Jennifer doesn't look convinced, but she drops it. We finish lunch talking about her own life, her promotion at work, her latest dating disaster, safe topics that don't require me to lie. Maya calls that afternoon while I'm in a meeting. 3 missed calls in a row, which means wedding emergency. I step out and call her back. Oh, thank God, she says when she answers. Crisis. The florist can't get peonies. She's suggesting roses instead, but roses are so basic, Erin. Everyone has roses. This was supposed to be special. I close my eyes and count to 5. What about garden roses? They're fuller, more romantic. And we could mix them with ranunculus. Same color palette, more interesting texture. Silence on the other end. Then, that's actually perfect. God, you're so good at this. I don't know what I'd do without you. That's what sisters are for, I say, and the words taste like ash. That evening we have a dress-fitting appointment. I meet Maya at the bridal boutique downtown, and the consultant brings out her Vera Wang gown, this stunning off-shoulder design that probably costs more than most people's cars. I help her into it, buttoning each tiny pearl button up her spine, and she looks at herself in the mirror with tears in her eyes. Is this really happening? She whispers. Am I really getting married? You really are, I tell her, adjusting her veil. She turns to face me, mascara already starting to run. I'm so glad you're my maid of honor. I know I keep saying it, but I mean it. You're my best friend, Erin. You always have been. I hug her carefully, avoiding the dress, and over her shoulder I can see both of us in the mirror. 2 sisters. One in a wedding dress, one in jeans. Both of us lying, but only one of us knows it. We spend the next hour looking at bridesmaid dresses. She's finally decided on sage green, and I help her choose a style that will work for the different body types of her bridesmaids. We debate hemlines and necklines and whether the fabric will photograph well. Normal sister things. Wedding things. All while I'm mentally reviewing the hotel receipts I found last week showing Paul and Maya spent a weekend at the coast while I was in Eugene visiting friends. The worst part of the whole charade is Derek. Maya's fiancé joins us for dinner after the fitting, and he's exactly as nice as always. Asking about my day, telling jokes, clearly head over heels in love with Maya. He talks about their honeymoon plans to Italy, about the house they're looking at in the West Hills, about how excited he is to start a family. We're thinking maybe 2 kids, Maya says, squeezing Derek's hand across the table. Not right away, but within a few years. Derek grins. I want them to have your eyes. And I sit there eating pasta, nodding at appropriate moments, watching them plan a future that's built on lies, and I wonder if Derek will hate me after the wedding. If he'll understand I did him a favor, or if he'll wish I'd warned him privately instead of exposing everything publicly. But I can't warn him privately. Because if I do, Maya and Paul will have time to control the narrative, to spin the story, to paint me as jealous or crazy or vindictive. This has to be public. It has to be undeniable. It has to be in front of everyone who matters. 3 weeks before the wedding, Maya's nonprofit holds its annual fundraiser gala. It's a black tie event at a downtown hotel, complete with silent auction, live music, and Portland's wealthy elite pretending to care about children's literacy. Paul volunteers to help with logistics, which makes everyone in our family smile about what a supportive brother-in-law he is. I watch him get ready that night with new eyes. The tuxedo I don't remember him buying. Cufflinks that weren't in his drawer last month. Cologne applied with more care than he's shown for anything involving me in half a year. You look handsome, I tell him, because that's what a good wife says. You look beautiful, he replies, kissing my forehead with lips that have kissed my sister. At the gala, I work the room in a burgundy gown Maya helped me pick out. I make small talk with donors, laugh at jokes I don't find funny, pose for photos with Paul's arm around my waist. The perfect couple. The supportive sister and brother-in-law helping Maya's career. But I'm watching them. Always watching. I see Paul's hand linger on Maya's lower back when he guides her through the crowd. See her lean into him when he whispers something that makes her laugh. See them exchange glances across the ballroom that last just a fraction too long. And then about an hour into the event, they disappear. Event logistics. Maya tells the event coordinator before heading toward the service hallway. Paul follows 2 minutes later, claiming he's taking a phone call. They're gone for 17 minutes. I know because I time it on my phone while pretending to scroll through social media. When they return, Maya's lipstick is slightly smudged. Paul's bow tie is looser. They come back from different directions, like that makes it less obvious. That morning I checked their messages. Can't wait to see you in a tux tonight. You know what that does to me. I'll find a reason to steal you away. Promise. Now I'm watching that promise fulfilled in real time, and I'm smiling for a photographer from the Portland Tribune who wants a shot of Maya with her sister. We pose together, arms around each other, and he takes several photos. Beautiful, he says. You can really see the family resemblance. Later I'll wonder if that photo ever ran. If it's still somewhere online, frozen proof of the moment before everything exploded. With 2 weeks until the wedding, I become meticulous. I practice my maid of honor speech in front of my bathroom mirror at 3 in the morning, timing each pause, perfecting the delivery. I organize all my evidence into folders on my phone. Messages, photos, hotel receipts, bank statements, and I practice pulling them up quickly, making sure I can navigate to exactly what I need even if my hands are shaking. I buy a new clutch, something elegant enough for a formal wedding but large enough to hold my phone comfortably. I rehearse reaching for it naturally, unlocking it smoothly, holding it up so nearby tables can see the screen. I also do something that probably makes me either very smart or slightly crazy. I schedule 2 appointments with a therapist. Not to actually process my feelings, I don't have time for that, but to establish a paper trail. Proof that I knew about the affair and was dealing with it in healthy, appropriate ways before I chose to expose it. Insurance against anyone later claiming I acted out of unstable emotion. Have you considered confronting your husband directly? Dr. Harlow asks during our second session. I'm not ready yet, I tell her, which is completely true, just not in the way she thinks. She nods sympathetically. These things take time. There's no rush. You need to process at your own pace. I nod back and let her believe that's what's happening. At night, I lie next to Paul in our bed listening to him breathe. He sleeps peacefully, no guilt keeping him awake, no conscience disturbing his rest. And I stare at the ceiling imagining the wedding reception. The beautiful waterfront venue. The 200 guests. The moment when I stand up with the microphone and everyone's attention. The moment when everything changes. For the first time in 2 months, lying there in the darkness, I smile. The wedding day arrives with weather that feels like mockery. Clear blue skies. Crisp November air. The kind of perfect Portland morning that makes people forget it rains here 9 months a year. I wake up at 5, earlier than necessary, but I couldn't sleep anyway. Today is the day I've been planning for 2 months. Today everything changes. I shower, do my makeup carefully, put on the sage green maid of honor dress Maya chose. It fits perfectly because I've lost 12 pounds since discovering the affair, stress eating me from the inside out even as I smile through every wedding appointment. In the mirror I look composed. Elegant. The picture of a supportive sister ready to celebrate her sibling's big day. Nobody would guess I'm about to detonate a bomb. I arrive at the waterfront venue at 7 with my arms full of emergency supplies Maya texted me about at midnight. Safety pins. The specific shade of lipstick she wants for photos. Breath mints. A backup pair of nude heels in case hers give her blisters. The kinds of details only a devoted maid of honor would remember. The bridal suite is already chaos when I walk in. Bridesmaids everywhere, mimosas flowing, our mother crying happy tears while the hairstylist works on bridesmaid number 3. Maya sees me and practically runs across the room. "Oh, thank God," she says, hugging me tight. "I've been panicking all morning. I couldn't remember if I told you about the lipstick and I thought you might forget and..." "I got everything," I tell her, holding up the bag. Deep breaths. "It's all going to be perfect. And it will be. Just not the way she thinks." Maya's already in her robe, hair done in these perfect loose waves, makeup half finished. She looks radiant in the way brides do, glowing with excitement and nerves and the absolute certainty that today is the beginning of her happily ever after. "Come help me get into the dress," she says, pulling me toward the corner where her Vera Wang gown hangs like a work of art. Our mother and 2 bridesmaids help lift it carefully and I guide Maya into it, pulling it up, adjusting the fabric, buttoning each tiny pearl button up her spine. There are 42 buttons. I count them. Our mother cries. The photographer circles us, capturing these intimate sister moments. The older sister helping the younger one into her wedding dress. Both of us smiling, everything perfect. "I can't believe this is happening," Maya whispers, staring at herself in the full-length mirror. "I'm actually getting married." "You really are," I say, adjusting her veil. She turns to face me, tears already starting to mess up her mascara, and grabs both my hands. "I don't know what I would have done without you, Erin. Through all the planning, all the stress, all the little disasters. You've been my rock. You're the best sister anyone could ask for." The words should hurt, but they don't. They just solidify everything I'm about to do. "That's what sisters are for," I tell her. She hugs me carefully, trying not to wrinkle the dress, and I hug her back, and the photographer captures that too. 2 sisters. 1 getting married. Both crying. A beautiful moment that will be deleted from every device by tomorrow. The bridesmaids finish getting ready, everyone taking turns with the hair and makeup artists. I sit in the corner sipping water. Not mimosas, I need to be completely clear-headed, and going over my speech in my head one more time. I've memorized it. Every word. Every pause. I know exactly when to reach for my phone, exactly which screenshots to show first, exactly how to deliver each line for maximum impact. My phone buzzes. It's Jennifer. "Thinking of you today. Know you've been stressed about the speech. You're going to do great. Love you." I type back, "Thanks. Today's going to be memorable." Around 9:30, our mother insists on photos of just her and her daughters. The photographer poses us by the window, natural light streaming in, Maya in her wedding dress, me in sage green, Mom in navy blue. We smile. We hold hands. We look like the picture of family happiness. "My beautiful girls," Mom says, crying again. "I'm so proud of both of you." Maya squeezes my hand. I squeeze back. At 10, it's time for Maya to head down for pre-ceremony photos with Derek. First look photos, they call them, where the groom sees the bride for the first time. Maya is nervous, fidgeting with her bouquet. "What if he doesn't like the dress?" she asks. "He's going to love it," I assure her. You look perfect. She does. She looks absolutely perfect. And in about 4 hours she's going to look completely destroyed. I stay behind in the bridal suite, taking a moment alone. I check my phone one last time, making sure all my evidence is organized and ready. Messages, photos, hotel receipts, bank statements, everything I need to make this undeniable. Then I head downstairs to find my seat. The ceremony space is stunning. White chairs in neat rows. An arch covered in white roses and eucalyptus. The Willamette River sparkling in the background. 200 guests in expensive clothes, chatting and laughing, everyone excited for the ceremony to start. I see Paul almost immediately. He's sitting 5 rows back, looking handsome in his charcoal suit, talking to my Aunt Carol. When he sees me, he smiles and waves. I wave back. Play the part. He finds me in the corridor behind the ceremony space a few minutes before things start. You look beautiful, he says, kissing my cheek. Several bridesmaids walk past and smile at us. Such a loving couple. Thank you, I say, reaching up to straighten his tie even though it doesn't need straightening. You clean up pretty well yourself. Big day for Maya, he says. She's so happy, I reply. She and Derek are perfect together. They really are, he agrees, and I wonder if he hears the irony in his own words. My phone buzzes in my clutch. Jennifer again. You okay? You seemed really off at the dress fitting. If you need to talk after today, I'm here. I type back quickly, I'm good. About to get the closure I didn't know I needed. The music starts. It's time. I take my place at the front, maid of honor position, and watch as guests file to their seats. Derek stands at the altar with his best man, looking nervous and excited and completely unaware that his life is about to implode. He's a good guy. Kind. Successful. Completely in love with Maya. And she's been lying to him for 2 years. The processional begins. Bridesmaids walk down the aisle one by one. Then it's my turn. I walk slowly, smiling at guests, and when I pass Paul's row, I see him watching Maya's empty spot at the back of the aisle, that same soft expression on his face I've seen 100 times in the past 2 months. Then the music changes. Everyone stands. And Maya appears at the back of the aisle on our father's arm. She looks like a fairy tale. The dress fits perfectly, the veil catches the light, her smile is radiant. Derek's face when he sees her breaks into pure joy. Several guests start crying. It's beautiful. Picture perfect. Everything a wedding should be. I stand at the altar holding Maya's bouquet, watching this ceremony that's built entirely on lies, and I feel nothing but that same cold calm I've been carrying for weeks. The officiant begins. Words about love and commitment and choosing each other every day. Maya and Derek exchange their personal vows, and Maya's voice cracks with emotion when she promises Derek honesty and loyalty and forever. From my position at the altar, I can see Paul 5 rows back, watching her with this tender expression, probably convinced their affair is some grand love story rather than a betrayal. The ceremony ends. Maya and Derek kiss. Everyone applauds. They walk back down the aisle together as husband and wife, and I follow with the best man, and we all move to the terrace for cocktail hour. The next hour is a blur of small talk I won't remember. Guests congratulating Maya. Derek's parents thanking me for being such a wonderful maid of honor. His mother telling me how Derek knew Maya was the one after 3 dates. Everyone's so happy. So completely unaware. I don't drink. Not even the champagne the servers keep offering. I need to be completely clear-headed. Finally, we move inside for dinner. The reception hall is gorgeous. Hundreds of candles, white roses everywhere, string lights creating this magical atmosphere. I'm seated at the head table between Maya and the best man. Maya keeps squeezing my hand, so happy, so grateful, so completely doomed. Dinner is served. It's delicious and I can't taste any of it. Then the speeches begin. Derek's best man goes first. He tells funny stories about their college days, makes touching comments about friendship and loyalty. Several guests cry. Everyone applauds. Then the DJ announces, and now the maid of honor, Erin Caldwell. I stand up, pick up my champagne flute, reach into my clutch and feel my phone there ready. 200 faces turn toward me. Maya is beaming. Derek has his arm around her. Paul is watching me proudly from his seat. None of them have any idea what's about to happen. I smile, take a breath, and begin to speak. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Maya and Derek on this absolutely beautiful day. My voice is warm, steady. I've practiced this opening 100 times in front of my bathroom mirror at 3 in the morning, and now it sounds exactly how I want it to, genuine, loving, the perfect maid of honor. I raise my champagne flute and the crowd murmurs agreement. 200 smiling faces turn toward me. Maya is beaming at the head table, eyes already glistening with happy tears. Derek has his arm around her shoulders. My mother is in the third row dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. Paul is 5 rows back, watching me with this proud expression like he's not currently having an affair with the woman in the white dress. As Maya's older sister, I continue, I've had the privilege of watching her grow from that curious little girl who followed me everywhere into the incredible woman standing before you today. Several guests nod knowingly. This is exactly what they expect. Sappy sister stories, childhood memories, maybe a funny anecdote about Maya's terrible teenage fashion choices. Standard maid of honor speech material. Maya has always had this gift for making people feel special, for creating these picture-perfect moments that make life feel magical. She's planned events for hundreds of people over her career, coordinated proposals and anniversaries and celebrations, always making sure every detail is flawless. More nodding. Maya's reputation as an event coordinator is well known. Derek's mother is smiling warmly. And she planned this wedding with the same meticulous attention to detail, I say, my smile never wavering. Making sure everyone here would witness exactly what she wanted us to see. The tone of that last sentence is just slightly off. Just enough that a few people in the front row shift uncomfortably. Maya's smile falters a fraction. She's smart enough to sense something wrong but not smart enough to know what. I pause. Let the room settle. Make sure I have everyone's complete attention. But what I've also had, I say, my voice dropping lower, more serious, is a front row seat to a very different side of Maya's life. One that most of you have never seen. The room goes completely silent. That horrible anticipatory quiet before disaster strikes. I reach into my clutch and pull out my phone. Maya's face drains of color so fast I think she might actually faint. Her hand reaches across the table toward me in this instinctive gesture, like she can somehow stop what's coming, but it's too late. This has been too late for 2 months. 7 months ago, I continue, my voice steady despite my racing heart. I discovered something that shattered my entire world. I discovered that my husband Paul and my sister Maya have been having an affair. The gasps are immediate and collective, like the whole room inhaled at once. Someone near the back drops their glass and the crash echoes in the sudden silence. A woman at table 6 says, "Oh my God," loud enough for everyone to hear. I unlock my phone and hold up a screenshot, angling it so the nearby tables can see. It's a text message from Maya to Paul, the words clear and undeniable. "Can't wait to have you all to myself tomorrow. You're all I think about." Maya tries to stand but Derek grabs her wrist, his face going from confusion to horror as he processes what I'm saying. Paul is halfway out of his chair but frozen, like his body can't decide whether to run toward me or away from me. My mother has both hands over her mouth. My father's face has gone completely red. "This is from 3 weeks ago," I say calmly, scrolling to another message. "And this one is from Maya to Paul, sent while I was in Seattle for a work conference." I read it aloud, my voice clear and steady. "She's gone until Thursday. Come over tonight. I'll wear that thing you like." I pause, let that sink in, then add, "Sent while I was working 18-hour days to land the account that helped pay for this beautiful wedding we're all attending today." The room erupts. People standing. Chairs scraping. Voices overlapping in shock and outrage. But I just keep talking, keep delivering evidence like a prosecutor presenting a case, because I've practiced this and I know exactly what I need to say. I have 2 years worth of messages like this. I continue, my voice cutting through the chaos. 2 years of planning hotel stays around my business trips. 2 years of coordinating their affair around my schedule like I'm an inconvenience to work around rather than a person they're betraying. Derek suddenly reaches across Maya and grabs my phone from my hand. I let him take it. This is part of the plan. He needs to see it himself. He scrolls frantically, his face transforming from shock to devastation to pure rage as he reads message after message after message. "Is this true?" he asks Maya, his voice breaking on the last word. She's crying now, mascara streaming down her face in black rivers, but she can't form words. just sits there shaking her head, whether in denial or disbelief I can't tell. Answer me. Derek shouts and the entire room hears it. 200 guests watching in horror as a marriage ends before it even begins. Maya whispers something I can't hear from where I'm standing. What? Derek demands. What did you say? It wasn't. Maya's voice is barely audible. I didn't mean for it to. How long? Derek cuts her off. How long has this been going on? Maya just cries harder. How long? Derek roars, standing so violently his chair falls backward with a crash. The room goes dead silent again. Everyone waiting for the answer they already know will be devastating. 2 years. Maya finally whispers. The sound that follows is like nothing I've ever heard. Derek's mother screams. Someone at table 8 starts crying. Multiple people pull out their phones, some to record, some probably to text others who aren't here. The wedding coordinator is standing near the entrance looking absolutely panicked, like she's trying to figure out how to salvage an event that's already completely destroyed. I keep talking because I'm not done yet. I have hotel receipts, I say, pulling up another file on a second phone I've kept in my other hand. 6 separate bookings at the Heathman downtown over the past 4 months. All under Paul's name. All on dates he told me he was at sales conferences. I hold up the phone showing a booking confirmation. The tables closest lean in to see. I have their Telegram messages where they joke about how oblivious Derek and I are. How easy we are to fool. How trusting we are, like trust is a character flaw instead of what you're supposed to have in a marriage. Paul finally finds his voice. Aaron, you're taking this out of context. If you would just let me explain. Explain what? Derek cuts him off, rounding on Paul with such hatred in his eyes that Paul actually steps backward. Explain how you've been sleeping with my wife? How you've been lying to your own wife and to me for 2 years? What context makes that acceptable? Paul opens his mouth but nothing comes out. Derek turns back to Maya. I asked you to marry me because I thought you were the most honest person I'd ever met. You told me you valued loyalty above everything. You stood at that altar 20 minutes ago and promised me honesty and commitment and forever, and it was all lies. Everything was lies. I do love you, Maya sobs. I really do, Derek. I don't. Derek's voice is cold now, all the rage burned out, leaving only devastation. Don't say anything else. He rips his boutonniere off his suit jacket and throws it on the table. Then he looks at Maya one more time and the expression on his face is something I'll remember forever. Not anger, not hatred, just profound betrayal. This marriage is over, he says clearly, loudly for everyone to hear. We're done. I will never forgive you for this. He walks toward the exit. His groomsmen follow immediately. His parents start gathering their family, Derek's mother shooting Maya a look of absolute disgust as she passes the head table. Derek's father stops in front of Paul. If I ever see you again, he says quietly, it will be too soon. Then they're gone, half the wedding party streaming out behind them. Paul tries to approach me, hands raised in some placating gesture, but my father physically blocks his path. You take one more step toward my daughter, Dad says in a voice I've never heard him use before, and I promise you'll regret it. Paul freezes. Looks around the room like he's searching for an ally. Finds none. Everyone is staring at him with disgust or shock or both. Maya is still sitting at the head table, sobbing so hard she can barely breathe, her beautiful Vera Wang gown now seeming obscene, her perfect makeup destroyed. Guests are gathering their things, leaving their tables, the reception dissolving into chaos around her. My mother is crying. My Aunt Carol is shouting something at Paul. Derek's cousin is recording everything on his phone. I don't say anything else. I've said everything I needed to say. I place my champagne flute carefully on the head table. Walk across the reception hall toward the terrace exit. My legs feel steady. My hands aren't shaking. Behind me I hear voices shouting questions at Maya and Paul, hear my mother begging someone to stop this, hear the beginning of the total annihilation I've spent 2 months carefully orchestrating. I push open the terrace door and step out into the cool evening air. For the first time in 7 months I can breathe. The terrace overlooks the Willamette River and I stand there alone for maybe 5 minutes, just breathing. The evening air is cool against my skin. Inside I can still hear the chaos, raised voices, crying, the sound of chairs being moved as guests leave. But out here it's quiet. Peaceful almost. My phone starts buzzing in my clutch. I pull it out and see the screen lighting up with notifications. Texts, calls, messages flooding in faster than I can read them. I turn the phone off completely and put it back. I'm not ready to deal with any of that yet. Jennifer appears in the doorway. She must have been sitting near the back because she's here and most of Derek's family is already gone. She walks over without saying anything and just stands next to me looking out at the water. I have a bag packed at your place, I tell her. Can I stay with you tonight? Of course, she says. As long as you need. We leave through the side exit, avoiding the main reception hall entirely. I don't want to see Maya's face. Don't want to hear Paul trying to explain. Don't want my mother begging me to fix this somehow. I just want to leave. Jennifer drives because my hands are shaking too badly. Not from regret. From adrenaline finally crashing after 2 months of holding everything inside. We don't talk. She just puts on music and drives and I stare out the window at Portland passing by, the city lights blurring together. When we get to her apartment, I collapse on her couch and finally let myself fall apart. Not crying exactly. More like my whole body just gives out. 2 months of pretending. 2 months of smiling through dress fittings and cake tastings and wedding planning sessions. 2 months of sleeping next to Paul and making him breakfast and acting like I didn't know he was destroying our marriage. It's over. It's finally over. I sleep for 14 hours straight. When I wake up Sunday morning, Jennifer is sitting in the armchair across from me with coffee and a concerned expression. Your phone's been going crazy, she says carefully. I turn the sound off but the screen keeps lighting up. Might want to check it. I turn it on and immediately regret it. 247 missed calls. Texts filling up the screen faster than I can scroll. My parents. Paul. My relatives I haven't talked to in years. Friends from college. Coworkers. Everyone has something to say about what I did. Most of them I ignore. But there's one message that matters from David, the lawyer I quietly retained 3 weeks ago. Saw the video. Well done. Come to my office Monday morning and we'll file divorce papers. Video. What video? Jennifer sees my expression. You should probably see this, she says, pulling out her laptop. Someone at the wedding filmed my entire speech. The whole thing from my opening words to the moment Derek stormed out. They posted it on social media with the caption, Maid of Honor exposes bride's affair at wedding reception. It has 2 million views. I watch it once, seeing myself standing at that microphone, voice steady, delivering every line exactly as I practiced. Maya's face draining of color. Derek grabbing my phone. The room erupting into chaos. It's all there, recorded in high definition for the world to see. It's everywhere, Jennifer says quietly. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Local news picked it up this morning. They have opinions. I scroll through the comments. Half the people are calling me a hero. The other half are calling me cruel, vindictive, asking why I didn't handle this privately. Someone created a poll asking if my revenge was justified. Someone else made a reaction video analyzing my body language and micro-expressions. Do you care? Jennifer asks. What they think. I close the laptop. No. This was never about them. This was about the truth. Monday morning I meet David at his office. He has divorce papers already drafted, just waiting for my signature. Paul isn't contesting anything. According to David, Paul's lawyer advised him that fighting would be pointless given the evidence. He wants to talk to you, David says. Called my office 6 times yesterday. I told him all communication goes through me, but he's persistent. Tell him no, I say, signing the papers. I have nothing to say to him. Paul comes home Monday afternoon to find all his belongings in boxes on the front porch. I'm not there. I'm still at Jennifer's. But David had the locks changed and taped a restraining order to the front door. Temporary, just until the divorce is finalized, but it means Paul can't come near me or contact me directly. His mother calls me that evening. I answer because I'm not angry at her, just at her son. Aaron, please, she says, crying. Paul is devastated. He made a terrible mistake, but he loves you. Can't you just talk to him? Try to work this out. Your son didn't make a mistake, I tell her, keeping my voice gentle but firm. He made a choice. Every day for 2 years he chose to lie to me. He chose to sleep with my sister. He chose to coordinate his affair around my work schedule. Those weren't mistakes. Those were deliberate decisions. And now he's living with the consequences. She tries to argue, to guilt-trip me about marriage being sacred and forgiveness being important, but I hang up before she can finish. I've already forgiven enough, trusted enough, been understanding enough. I'm done. The real devastation starts Wednesday. Paul's colleague Marcus messages me that morning. We've met a few times at company events and he's always been friendly. Now he's reaching out to tell me he's disgusted by what Paul did, and to warn me about what happened at work. The viral video reached Paul's CEO Rebecca. She's known in Portland's tech scene for running a tight ship, enforcing strict ethical standards, maintaining the company's reputation above everything else. Having one of her senior account executives exposed in a viral video for having an affair with his wife's sister isn't the kind of publicity she tolerates. She called Paul into her office Tuesday morning. The meeting lasted less than 10 minutes. She gave him a choice, Marcus tells me over coffee. Resign immediately or be terminated for violating the ethics clause in his contract. He chose to resign because getting fired would have made finding another job basically impossible. How did he look? I ask, and I'm not sure why I care, except maybe I need to know this hurt him the way it hurt me. Like he aged 10 years overnight, Marcus says. Cleaned out his desk Wednesday morning. Half the office wouldn't even say goodbye to him. Janet from accounting actually told him he should be ashamed of himself, right there in the hallway where everyone could hear. I feel a savage satisfaction hearing this. Maybe that makes me a bad person. I've stopped caring. Maya's destruction happens even faster. The luxury hotel chain she worked for has spent decades building a reputation for elegance and discretion. Having one of their event coordinators exposed in a viral video for conducting an affair with her sister's husband while planning her own wedding is exactly the kind of scandal they can't afford. My cousin Rachel, who still follows Maya on social media, tells me Maya was called into HR Monday morning. By Monday afternoon she was terminated. Conduct incompatible with brand values was the official reason. But losing her job is just the beginning. Derek's family owns Maya's apartment building. They gave her 30 days notice to vacate, the legal maximum, but their lawyer made it clear those 30 days would be as unpleasant as legally possible. Maya moved back into our parents' house within 2 weeks. Mom calls me Thursday evening. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. She's not doing well, Erin, Mom says, her voice heavy. She barely leaves her room. Won't eat. Won't shower. Just sleeps and cries. Part of me feels guilty hearing this. The part of me that remembers Maya as my little sister following me around, looking up to me. But then I remember that same sister wearing Paul's hoodie in that photo. Coordinating their affair around my work trips. Helping him lie to my face hundreds of times. She made her choices, Mom, I say quietly. She's still your sister. Family should forgive. She betrayed me for 2 years. Looked me in the eye and lied while sleeping with my husband. That's not a mistake, Mom. That's not something I can just forgive because we share DNA. Mom goes quiet. Even she can't defend what Maya did, no matter how much she wants to play peacemaker. My father takes a different approach. He calls Maya's actions disgraceful, says he's ashamed of her, claims he can barely look at her. I appreciate the support, but something about his anger feels performative, like he's trying too hard to prove he's on my side. My brother Seth calls from Denver the day after the video goes viral. Holy shit, Erin, is the first thing he says. Are you okay? I start crying. Not because I'm sad, but because Seth doesn't tell me what to do or how to feel. He doesn't try to mediate or fix anything. He just asks if I'm okay and then listens while I tell him everything. They deserved it, he says when I'm done. Both of them. And honestly, Derek deserved to know before he legally tied himself to someone like that. Mom doesn't see it that way. Mom wants everyone to be happy and comfortable, even when they don't deserve it. But you did the right thing, Erin. You really did. The extended family splits predictably. Mom's side thinks I was cruel, that I should have handled things privately. Dad's side mostly supports me, saying Maya got what she deserved. Thanksgiving is in 5 weeks. Mom is already talking about having everyone over like always, like we can just sit around a table together and pretend none of this happened. I'm planning to spend it with Jennifer's family instead. I can't sit across from Maya and pass the potatoes. Can't listen to Mom try to force reconciliation over pumpkin pie. Can't perform forgiveness I don't feel for the sake of holiday tradition. Some bridges once burned don't get rebuilt. And I'm finally okay with that. 3 weeks after the wedding, I'm sitting in Jennifer's apartment scrolling through job postings. Not because I need a new job, but because focusing on something normal helps. When my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This is Derek. I know this is weird, but I'd like to talk if you're willing. No pressure. I stare at that message for a full hour. Jennifer comes home from the grocery store, sees me frozen on the couch with my phone in my hand and asks what's wrong. Derek wants to meet, I tell her. Derek as in Maya's ex-fiancé Derek? Yeah. Jennifer sits down next to me. What do you want to do? That's the question, isn't it? Part of me wants to ignore the message, keep that boundary firmly in place. But another part, the part that's been carrying this weight alone for months, is curious. Derek is the only other person who understands exactly what Maya and Paul did. The only other person who was humiliated in front of 200 people. I text back, coffee tomorrow? That place on Morrison at 2. His response comes immediately. I'll be there. Thank you. The next day I arrive at the cafe 5 minutes early and find Derek already sitting at a corner table. He looks terrible. The polished, confident man from the wedding has been replaced by someone who's clearly not sleeping, not eating, barely holding it together. His button-down shirt hangs loose like he's lost weight. There are dark circles under his eyes that no amount of expensive grooming can hide. When he sees me, he stands awkwardly, and for a moment neither of us knows what to do. Shake hands. Just sit down. We settle on sitting down. For the first 5 minutes we just sip our coffee in silence. Two people who were destroyed by the same two people, trying to figure out if we're allowed to be angry together or if that somehow makes it worse. Finally, Derek speaks. I'm sorry. I look up, confused. For what? For not seeing it, he says, staring into his coffee cup. For bringing you into my family's orbit. For making my wedding the worst day of your life too. For all of it. Something about the genuine regret in his voice breaks something open in me. I start crying right there in the cafe and I can't stop. Derek doesn't try to comfort me or tell me it's okay. He just hands me napkins from the dispenser and waits. When I finally stop, I wipe my eyes and say, you don't have anything to apologize for. You didn't do this. They did. I know, he says quietly. But I still feel like I should have known. There must have been signs. Things I missed. There were signs, I tell him. I saw them for months and convinced myself I was imagining things. Maya told me I was overthinking. Paul told me I was being paranoid. They were good at lying. That's not on us. We talk for 2 hours that first day. About the affair. About the wedding. About how we're both trying to process what happened while everyone around us has opinions about how we should feel. My mother keeps saying I dodged a bullet, Derek says. Like that makes it better. Like finding out the person you loved was lying to you for 2 years is somehow lucky because you didn't legally marry them. People keep congratulating me for standing up for myself, I reply. Like I should be proud. And part of me is, but mostly I'm just tired. Yeah, he says. Tired is the right word. We start meeting regularly after that. Once a week at first, just coffee and conversation. But it quickly becomes twice a week, then 3 times, then almost daily. Because Derek is the only person who really understands. He tells me about having the wedding annulled. About explaining to relatives what happened. About his mother crying, not because the marriage ended, but because she's embarrassed about how much money they spent on a wedding that lasted negative hours. She keeps saying, what will people think? Derek says one afternoon while we're walking along the waterfront. Like the problem isn't that Maya cheated on me. It's that people found out. I tell him about the loneliness of being right. About how people treat me differently now. Some look at me like I'm brave. Others look at me like I'm vindictive. Jennifer is supportive but doesn't really understand. My family is split. And I'm just trying to get through each day without falling apart. Do you regret it? Derek asks. Exposing them like that. No, I say immediately. I regret that I had to. But if I'd done it privately, they would have controlled the narrative. They would have painted me as jealous or crazy. This way, the truth is undeniable. Good, he says. Because I'm glad you did it. If you hadn't, I would have married her. Legally tied myself to someone who's been lying to me since the beginning. We start piecing together the timeline of the affair during one of our walks. Derek remembers Maya canceling plans because she was tired from work. On nights I now know Paul was with her. I remember Paul's sudden interest in helping with wedding planning. We realize Maya and Paul coordinated not just around me but around Derek too. Every lie, every excuse, every work event or family obligation was carefully constructed to keep both of us in the dark. She told me she was at a bridal expo the weekend of my college reunion, Derek says. I asked if she wanted to come with me and she said she couldn't miss it. But there was no expo that weekend. I checked. Paul told me he had a sales conference in Seattle. I add. Same weekend. I bet they were together. Probably. The shared investigation is somehow healing. We're constructing the full picture of what they did, how they did it, and understanding that we weren't stupid for trusting them. We were just normal people who believed the people we loved were telling the truth. After a month of coffee meetings, Derek suggests dinner. An actual dinner at a restaurant, not just grab coffee and walk around. Feels different. More intentional. But I say yes because spending time with Derek has become the one part of my day I actually look forward to. We start talking about things other than Maya and Paul. Our childhoods. Our dreams. Books we love. Movies we hate. What we want from life now that our previous plans have completely exploded. I always thought I'd be married by now, Derek admits one night. Have kids by 35. The whole traditional thing. Me too, I say. And instead I'm 32, divorced, and my sister destroyed my marriage. Think you'll ever get married again? I don't know, I say honestly. Ask me in a year. Right now, trusting anyone feels impossible. Meanwhile, Maya is spiraling. She starts leaving letters at my parents' house. Long, handwritten apologies that my mother tries to force me to read. When I refuse, Mom reads them to me over the phone anyway, telling me how sorry Maya is, how much she regrets everything, how she's in therapy now. One letter claims the affair started as a mistake and she didn't know how to end it. That makes me furious. Affairs don't last 2 years by accident. They last because you choose them every single day. Another letter tries to blame Paul entirely. Says he pursued her. That she felt pressured. That she was confused and vulnerable. Maya is 32 years old. Fully capable of saying no. Watching her try to dodge responsibility is almost worse than the original betrayal. She shows up at my office one afternoon. Building security calls up to ask if I'll see her. I watch from my third-floor window as she stands in the lobby crying, and I feel nothing except irritation that she's making a scene at my workplace. Tell her I'm not available, I say to security. The breaking point comes when Maya somehow gets Derek's new number. We're having dinner when his phone rings. He glances at the screen, frowns, and answers. Hello. I watch his expression change from confusion to anger as he listens to whoever's on the other end. Then he stands up from the table and walks outside, and I can see him through the window, pacing and gesturing. He comes back 5 minutes later looking furious. That was Maya, he says. How did she get your number? No idea. She was crying, begging me to convince you to talk to her. Said you're the only one who can help her move forward. That she needs closure. What did you say? I told her she's delusional if she thinks either of us ever wants to hear from her again. He sits down heavily. Then I hung up and blocked the number. 2 months after the wedding, Derek asks me to dinner. Not our usual casual places, but a nice restaurant downtown. When I arrive, he's wearing a suit. There are flowers on the table. And I realize this might not just be friendly anymore. We're both nervous in a way we haven't been during our other meetings. Conversation is stilted at first. We talk about safe topics. Work, the weather, a movie he saw last weekend. Halfway through dinner, Derek puts down his fork. I need to tell you something, he says. And if it ruins this friendship, I'll understand. But I have to say it. My heart starts racing. I think I know what he's going to say. And I'm terrified and excited in equal measure. I have feelings for you, Aaron, Derek says quietly. I know the timing is terrible. I know we're both still processing trauma. I know people will judge us if we're together. But I can't pretend anymore that these meetings are just about shared grief. You make me laugh. You make me feel like myself again. And I hope, maybe you feel the same way. I'm quiet for a long moment. Processing. Because I do feel the same way. But I'm scared. Scared of being hurt again. Scared of making a mistake. Scared this is just trauma bonding and not real connection. I do feel the same way, I finally admit. But I don't know if that's healthy or if we're just using each other to process what happened. I don't know either, Derek says. Maybe we're both a little broken right now. Maybe this is a terrible idea. But maybe it's not. Maybe two people who understand each other's pain is exactly what we both need. We talk for 2 more hours about whether this is healing or harmful. Whether we're ready. Whether we can build something real on a foundation of mutual betrayal. We don't have answers to any of these questions. But when Derek walks me to my car and kisses me goodnight, gentle and tentative and full of possibility, I realize I don't need answers yet. I just need to feel something other than anger. And this, whatever this is, feels like hope. Derek and I start dating officially in late January, 3 months after the wedding. We agree to take it slow, be honest about everything, and accept that this might not work. But we're willing to try. The first few weeks are careful. Tentative. We're both so aware that we're building something on a foundation of shared trauma, and we keep questioning whether what we feel is real or just two hurt people finding comfort in each other. Do you think about her when you're with me? I ask him one night while we're having dinner at his place. He's quiet for a moment, then says honestly, sometimes. Not in a longing way. More like, I see something that reminds me of what happened and I have to consciously separate you from her. Does that make sense? Yeah, I say. I do the same thing. Sometimes you'll say something and I'll panic, wondering if you're lying too. If everyone lies. I'm not lying, he says. I promise you, Aaron. If this stops working for me, I'll tell you. No games. No deception. We decide early on to see a couples therapist, which feels ridiculous when we've only been dating a month, but we both agree we want to do this right. Dr. Chin asks us hard questions about whether we're trauma bonding, whether we're using each other to avoid processing our pain, whether we're actually compatible or just comfortable in shared anger. We don't have all the answers, but we keep showing up, keep being honest, keep choosing each other day by day. 5 months after the wedding, my divorce is finalized. The court proceeding takes less than 20 minutes. Paul doesn't even show up, he sends his lawyer as a representative. David structured the settlement so I keep the house, my retirement accounts, everything we built together. Paul gets his personal belongings and his car. When the judge declares our marriage dissolved, I feel relief more than anything else. It's finally officially over. Jennifer is waiting on the courthouse steps when I walk out into bright April sunshine. How do you feel? She asks, hugging me hard. Free, I say, and sad, and angry, and relieved, all at once. That evening, Derek takes me to dinner. We're not sure if we're celebrating or commiserating, but we're together and that feels right. My family's lawyers finally settled with Maya, he tells me over dessert. She has to repay about $30,000 of the wedding costs. Can she afford that? Barely. She's working retail now. It'll take her years to pay it back. Part of me feels guilty hearing this. But then I remember the hotel receipts and the messages and the 2 years of lies, and the guilt fades. At work, I throw myself into every project with intensity that borders on obsessive. I'm staying late, taking on the challenging accounts other art directors avoid, bringing innovative ideas that win us 3 new major clients. My boss, Karen, notices. 6 months after the wedding, she calls me into her office. I'm promoting you to creative director, she says without preamble. You've earned it. The team respects you. Clients love you. And frankly, you've been doing the job for months without the title. The promotion comes with a significant raise. I used the money to move out of the house I shared with Paul. There are too many ghosts in those walls. Too many memories of who I used to be. I find a loft in the Pearl District. Exposed brick, huge windows, light everywhere. The complete opposite of my old life. Moving day feels like shedding skin. I get rid of almost everything Paul and I bought together. The couch where I discovered his affair, the dining table where we ate countless dinners while he lied to my face, the bed we shared while he was sleeping with my sister. I keep only what's truly mine. That first night in the new apartment, I eat Thai food on the floor because I haven't bought furniture yet, and I feel more at home than I did in 8 years of marriage. Jennifer helps me shop for furniture. Derek helps me assemble an IKEA bookshelf that takes 4 hours and nearly ends our relationship. Seth flies in from Denver for a weekend and helps me paint an accent wall navy blue. I'm building a life that's genuinely mine. Not compromised. Not negotiated. Just authentically what I want. Derek and I have been together 4 months when summer arrives, and we're still navigating what we are to each other. Some days it feels perfect. Other days it feels fragile. People judge us. I tell him one evening while we're walking along the waterfront. I can see it in their faces when I mention you. They think we're opportunists. Does it matter what they think? Derek asks. I don't know. Maybe. Sometimes I wonder if they're right. If we're just using each other to process what happened. Maybe we are, he says. But maybe that's okay. Maybe two people who understand each other's pain is exactly what we both need right now. We go to therapy together every other week. Dr. Chin asks us hard questions. We answer honestly. We're building something slowly, carefully on ground that still feels unstable. My parents don't know about Derek and me yet. I'm not ready for my mother's judgment, her comments about how inappropriate it is, her suggestions that I'm doing this to hurt Maya. But Derek's parents know. And surprisingly they approve. His mother tells him she's glad he found someone who understands what he went through. 8 months after the wedding, my mother calls with an ultimatum. Thanksgiving is in 3 weeks, she says. I want the whole family here. That includes you and Maya. Mom. Enough time has passed, Aaron. She's your sister. Family is family. I won't accept no for an answer. I refuse initially. But my father calls separately and he sounds so tired, so worn down by the family fracture, that I reluctantly agree to meet with Maya first. Just the two of us. Neutral territory. Before I commit to Thanksgiving. We meet at a coffee shop downtown on a Saturday morning. Maya shows up looking terrible. She's gained weight. Her hair is unwashed. She's wearing sweatpants. She starts crying the moment she sits down. I'm so sorry, she says. I know I've said it before, but I need you to know how sorry I am. I've been in therapy. I'm working on myself. I'm trying to understand why I did what I did, and I let her talk for 10 minutes. Let her spill all her rehearsed apologies and excuses and explanations. When she finally stops, I speak. I don't forgive you, I say clearly. And I probably never will. Aaron, please. What you did wasn't a mistake, I continue. It was a choice you made every single day for 2 years. You looked me in the eye and lied. You let me help plan your wedding while you were sleeping with my husband. You only feel bad now because you got caught. Maya cries harder. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I miss you. I miss my sister. That sister doesn't exist anymore, I tell her. You destroyed her the moment you chose Paul over me. Over Derek. Over basic decency. Can't we at least try? Maya asks desperately. Can't we work toward being sisters again someday? No, I say. Trust once shattered, this completely doesn't rebuild. The best we can hope for is civil coexistence at family events for mom and dad's sake. But we're not friends. We're not close. We're just two people who share DNA. It's not the closure she wants. But it's the truth. I walk out of that coffee shop feeling lighter. I've stopped carrying the burden of her redemption. That's her work to do, not mine to grant. 14 months after the wedding, I'm sitting in my loft on a Saturday morning drinking coffee and thinking about how different my life looks now. I'm 33. Divorced. Estranged from my sister probably forever. In a relationship that started under the most unusual circumstances imaginable. And somehow I'm happier than I've been in years. People ask me all the time if I regret exposing Maya and Paul the way I did. If the public humiliation was too harsh. If I'd do it differently. My answer is always the same. I regret that I had to do it at all. But I don't regret doing it the way I did. Because they spent 2 years controlling the narrative, controlling me. I took that power back in the only way that guaranteed they couldn't spin the story. My life doesn't look like I imagined it would. But it's mine. Built on truth instead of lies. Derek and I are talking about moving in together next year. It terrifies me. But it also fills me with hope. I've learned that healing isn't linear. Some days I wake up angry. Other days I wake up grateful. Trust is harder to rebuild than people pretend. And revenge doesn't fix anything, but truth-telling does. I still see Maya at occasional family events. We're polite but distant. Strangers who share history but no longer share lives. And I've made peace with that being enough. My mother still hopes for reconciliation. My father has stopped hoping and just accepts the new normal. I've learned that I don't owe anyone my forgiveness. That boundaries are love in disguise. That sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away from people who hurt you, even when everyone tells you family means staying. The biggest lesson I've learned is this. Trust your instincts. Believe people when they show you who they are. And when someone betrays you so completely that there's no path back, don't be afraid to burn the bridge and walk away from the ashes. Because on the other side of that fire is a life that's truly yours. And that's worth more than anything.